What's good, guys? Your boy Hugo Savage back again for another Marvel What If review with a slight bit of spoilers in there, but you already know that from the title of the video. Episode 4, A Strange Journey to the Lost Books. This one is it's about Doctor Strange. Follows the timeline to a T almost, like of the Doctor Strange movie, follows the exact same pattern. Keeps a lot of the original stuff in there. Where the alternate universe comes into this one is the crash what Doctor Strange, well, what Stephen Strange at the time has. Oh no, he's Doctor Strange, he's an actual doctor, but the crash that he has isn't down to him speeding and being obnoxious in his fancy car. It's actually down to an actual crash. The difference in this one is the fact that Christine is on a date with him. She's in the car with him. And he actually, when he sees a bit of traffic, he actually tries to avoid it and stuff like that. And he gets crashed into from the back. And sadly, she passes away. I'm a bit all over the place with it because I've just finished watching it. And they managed to condense a lot into a little bit of time. And everything was perfect, but sometimes, I don't know how to explain it, you guys know it, sometimes when things are too perfect in TV shows or movies and stuff, you cloud it and then you can't ever remember half of the things, so I'm going to do my best to remember. But Christine dies. This Doctor Strange is a different type of Doctor Strange. It's still him, but it's a lot nicer. They've managed to make him a lot less arrogant than he is in the actual movie. You get to see how nice he is to Christine instead of trying to fob her off as this playboy kind of like. That's where the parallels with him and Tony Stark come in usually, because they're pretty much the same with that. But he's really lovely to her, and this whole episode is based on a depressed Doctor Strange. He's distraught, he's bereaved, he's just sad because he's lost Christine, the love of his life, and from there he goes through all the things he goes in the original Doctor Strange, going to Kamar-Taj, trying to find his way in life. But obviously in the previous one he does it because of his injury to his hands and he wants to find foreign medicine that can fix him. Whereas this one, it's more of he wants Christine back in some sort of way, and he gets to Kamar-Taj and learns the ways of the Sorcerer Supreme, and the Ancient One, and then he pretty much, which I thought was very cool. Obviously in Infinity War we get to see him. He says that he's pretty much seen 14 million plus different outcomes, and only one prevails, which is the one that they use. In this, instead of him seeing him doing the meditation to do this, we get to see it play out where he goes and relives the moment of the crash over and over and over again in alternate timelines. But each time, in every different way possible, Christine still dies. It gets to a point where even there's a part where she's talking to him and she just faints and dies. You can even see clips of the funeral. There's a part which I thought was like, I didn't find it funny, but it did took me a bit. I was like, what? Instead of because he's lived out so many of them of watching her die, each time from his memory is like, okay, let's not do this time, and when I drive the car this time, let me turn this way, and the next time we drive, she drives instead of him driving, just to try and change stuff up. And then there's one when he's like, let's just stay in and have a meal. He goes to like a cafe and somebody walks in with a gun to shoot her. So it's very, very sad, and the only way he feels like he doesn't have enough power to do this, to reverse what's happened, and he has a conversation with the Ancient One. She tells him that this is an absolute point. You disappeared into the past to try and live out all these lives, but it's an absolute point, which means it doesn't matter what happens, Christine is meant to die. And the reason for this is because that's where his journey starts as Doctor Strange, the Doctor Strange that we know. If there was no crash and Christine didn't die, he wouldn't seek to go to Kamar-Taj. Now, if this was the original Doctor Strange, it would be the fact that, if his hands didn't, you know what I'm saying, it's a different timeline. So she tells him that he doesn't want to believe it, so he goes to like the dark magic to try and find a way through. ends up taking all of these like these different beasts with what have different magic and absorbing it and taking it away till he becomes dark himself. And it's still rooted in love that he wants to bring Christine back, but it gets very dark. And yeah, the Ancient One comes back as a, what's it called again? She's, in Doctor Strange, when she's out of body after she dies, she comes back to visit him and basically tells him like, yo, this isn't going to work for you. And trying to stop the Absolute Point and reverse that will ruin, and it will finish the universe pretty much, with the end of the universe. She tells him that you need to help me stop. Well, he needs to stop himself. And he's very confused, and basically what she done was she split the timeline without him knowing, because she couldn't bring him back to the original time. She split the timeline, so we have a darker Doctor Strange and we have this Doctor Strange. Both of their motives are rooted in love of Christine, but one is more willing to listen, and then you get to see a split screen of the one what turned dark and then the other one that's having a conversation with Wong, pretty much telling himself that it's time for me to stop being depressed and get on with my life. So them two end up fighting each other. And yeah, that's where the action sequence comes in. It's quite fun, it's quite dark. It lends your mind to what can happen in the future with the Spider-Man and the Multiverse of Madness. So it lends the thought to that. I thought the artwork was perfect. Gave me a feel of like old school Disney artwork. Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella. I think there was a part where, the Snow White, the huntsman who tries to kill her. I was looking at Doctor Strange and I was like, he reminds me of somebody. That kind of drawing, that handwork, but it was perfect. And yeah, that fight happens. There's a part where he even, when they see that the universe is crumbling away, because while this is happening, the fabric of the original universe is fading away. Even Wong's fading away. People who are just walking the streets are starting to fade away and stuff like that. And there's a part where he breaks the fourth wall, and the Watcher, who's been watching the whole time, he has a conversation with him, basically says, can't you do anything? And the Watcher's basically telling him, listen, I'm not God, neither are you. I'm here to whatever. And it made me feel like, for the people who are religious out there, it was almost like he's speaking to God. And the Watcher's God. It's a weird thing. But yeah, he ends up protecting him and the other Strange get together to be one. But it's not enough. So they end up protecting themselves inside a cocoon with Christine alive. But it's the end of the universe, and it literally finishes with them in this little glass cocoon of nothingness, just them two together, but the universe is done. So what's the point? I hope I explained that properly. I probably didn't. I probably botched a lot of it, but honestly, it muffled with my head a little bit. Very sad episode, but very fun. I like the entertainment of it. So you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought in the comment section of the episode and on my review. If there's anything you guys want to add to it, let me know in the comment section as well. Episode 5 next week, of course. Yeah, I've been your boy, Sam. Comment, like, subscribe, and share. Run.